Welcome. We're going to look at vocabulary and phrasal verbs today, and there is also a multiple choice and a gap fill exercise, so make notes and let's see how you go. First up, we have agenda, a list of items to be discussed. Did everyone receive a copy of the agenda before the meeting? Let's stick to the agenda so we don't run over time. To kick off is to start or begin. I'd like to kick off today's session by introducing our new partner. We should kick off the project as soon as the budget is approved. So you will hear often used kick-off meetings. It's the start of a project. Objective is the goal or purpose. The main objective of this meeting is to finalize the marketing plan. We need to define our clear objectives for the next quarter. Roll call is calling out names to see who is present. Let's start with a quick roll call for those joining us online. The secretary took a roll call before the board meeting began. Get down to business is to stop small talk and start working. Now that everyone is here, let's get down to business. We have a lot to cover, so let's get down to business immediately. Brainstorm, a verb, is to produce an idea or way of solving a problem by rapid, spontaneous group discussion. We need to brainstorm some fresh ideas for the holiday campaign. Let's take 10 minutes to brainstorm potential solutions. Bring up a phrasal verb to introduce a topic for discussion. I'd like to bring up the issue of the recent delivery delays. Don't forget to bring up the budget concerns during the Q&A. Collaborate is to work jointly on an activity or project. Our departments need to collaborate more closely on this launch. We are collaborating with a freelance designer for the new logo. Input, contribution of information or ideas. We would value your input on the proposed changes. Thank you for your input. It gave us a lot to think about. To touch base is to briefly contact someone to update them or check in. Let's touch base next week to see how the project is progressing. I just wanted to touch base regarding the client's feedback. Elaborate is to add more detail concerning what has already been said. Could you elaborate on how the new software will save us time? I'll elaborate on these points in a follow-up email. Hope you're doing well so far. Remember to take notes as we're going to have a quiz later. To fill in a phrasal verb, to give someone the information they missed. Could you fill me in on what was discussed while I was away? The manager filled in the team on the results of the board meeting. Chime in, a phrasal verb, to interrupt a conversation to say something. Feel free to chime in if you have any questions during the presentation. He chimed in with a great suggestion for reducing costs. Consensus, a general agreement. We need to reach a consensus on which vendor to hire. The general consensus was that we should postpone the launch. Feasible, possible to do easily or conveniently. Is it feasible to finish the report by Friday afternoon? The board is checking if the expansion plan is financially feasible. Bottleneck, a point of congestion in a system that stops progress. The legal department is currently a bottleneck for the contract approval. We need to identify the bottleneck in our production line. Contingency plan is a backup plan for emergencies. What is our contingency plan if the shipment is delayed? We have a contingency plan in place for technical failures. Leverage is to use something to maximum advantage. We should leverage our existing customer base to promote the new tool. The company aims to leverage new technology to increase our efficiency. Streamline is to make an organization or system more efficient. We are looking for ways to streamline our accounting processes. The new software will help streamline communications between teams. Scale up, a phrasal verb, is to increase the size or scale of something. If the pilot program works, we will scale up operations next year. We need more staff before we can scale up our production. KPI is a key performance indicator. It's a quantifiable measure of performance. Our primary KPI for this month is user retention. We need to review our KPIs if we are meeting our targets. Workaround is a method for overcoming a problem without fixing it fundamentally, so it's a temporary fix. We found a temporary workaround for the software bug. Is there a workaround? Is there a workaround we can use until the main server is back up? Core competency. It's a defining capability or advantage of a business. Excellent customer service is our company's core competency. We should focus on projects that align with our core competencies. To map out, a phrasal verb, is to plan in detail how something will happen. We need to map out the project timeline for the client. The team mapped out a strategy for entering the European market. Pivot can be a verb or a noun. It's to change strategy or direction rapidly. The company had to pivot towards e-commerce during the lockdown. Our recent pivot has resulted in a 20% increase in sales. Backtrack. It's to go back over a path or re-examine a previous point. Let's backtrack for a moment to the question about the budget. I think we need to backtrack and look at the original data again. Counteroffer. It's an offer made in response to another. The client rejected our price, so we need to prepare a counteroffer. They made a counteroffer that included a longer contract term. Sidetracked. It's an adjective and a verb. It means distracted from the main subject. We're getting sidetracked. Let's return to the main topic. The discussion about office snacks sidetracked us for 20 minutes. Iron out. It's to resolve small problems or details. We still need to iron out a few details in the contract. The two departments met to iron out their differences. Compromise. An agreement reached by each side making concessions. We had to compromise on the deadline to keep the project on budget. After hours of debating, they finally reached a compromise. To push back is to delay an event or oppose a plan. The client is pushing back on the proposed hourly rate. We need to push back the meeting to 3 p.m. A red flag is a warning sign of a problem. The lack of transparency in their report is a major red flag. We noticed several red flags during the initial audit. Misalignment, when different parts of an organization are not working towards the same goal. There is a misalignment between the sales team and the product team. We need to address the misalignment of our current goals. Address, the verb, to think about and begin to deal with an issue. We must address the drop in productivity immediately. The CEO addressed the concerns regarding the merger. Conflict of interest. It's a situation where a person's private interests might influence their professional duties. He had to recuse himself from the vote due to a conflict of interest. To recuse is to excuse yourself. The company policy is designed to avoid any conflicts of interest. To keep up with is to move or progress at the same rate as someone or something else. It's hard to keep up with all the changes in the tech industry. We need to work harder to keep up with our competitors. To move forward is to make progress with something. We have the green light to move forward with the hiring process. The green light means you have approval. I'm excited to move forward with this partnership. A milestone is an action or event marking a significant stage in development. Reaching 10,000 subscribers was a major milestone for us. The team celebrated reaching their first milestone of the project. A ballpark figure is a rough estimate. Can you give me a ballpark figure for the total cost? I don't have the exact numbers yet, but I can give you a ballpark figure. A benchmark is a standard or point of reference against which things can be compared. We use last year's sales as a benchmark for this year's performance. The product will set a new benchmark for quality in the industry. In the loop. This is to be informed about or involved in something. Please keep me in the loop regarding the negotiations. I wasn't in the loop about the changes to the schedule. Update is to give the latest information. Could you update the team on your progress so far? We will provide a weekly update on the project status. Status quo, the existing state of affairs. The management is happy with the status quo and doesn't want to change. We need to challenge the status quo to remain competitive. To drill down is to look at detail of data or information. Let's drill down into these sales figures to see what happened in June. We need to drill down and find the root cause of the error. On track is proceeding or developing as expected. The construction of the new office is on track for completion in May. Are we still on track to meet our year-end goals? To wrap up is to finish or conclude something. Let's wrap up this meeting so you can all get back to work. We should be able to wrap up the deal by the end of the day. An action item is a specific task that needs to be completed. We hear this often in meetings. I've noted down 3 action items for the marketing team. Who is responsible for the first action item on the list? To follow up is to take further action or check on progress. I will follow up with the client to see if they signed the contract. We'll schedule a follow-up meeting for next Tuesday. Takeaway. It's a key fact or point to be remembered. The main takeaway from this session is that we need more resources. What were your key takeaways from the conference? To adjourn is to break off a meeting with the intention of resuming it later. Since there is no other business, the meeting is adjourned. The chairperson adjourned the session until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at our multiple choice questions. You need to choose the best word or phrasal verb to complete the sentence. Before we start the discussion, does everyone have a copy of the agenda? Is the correct answer. I'd like a new issue regarding the software licenses. Correct answer is bring up. We don't have the exact budget yet, but I can give you a ballpark figure. The legal department is a bit of a, right now, everything is waiting for their approval. A bottleneck. If this pilot program succeeds, we plan to our operations globally next year. Scale up. Part 2 here is to fill in the blanks. There might be a missing phrasal verb or a term using the list below. Okay, we have touch base, in the loop, action items, drill down, and elaborate. So let's have a look. I'm not sure I understand your point. Could you elaborate on how that would work? Please keep Sarah regarding the client's response so she stays informed. Please keep Sarah in the loop. Let's into the data to find out why sales dropped in April. Drill down is the correct answer. I'll with you on Thursday to see if the contract is signed. Touch base. At the end of the meeting, we will assign to each team member action items. Next up, we're going to match the meaning. We will have a term on the left and a definition on the right. So I'll give you a moment here to look through them, and then I will let you know the correct answers. So first we have feasible, consensus, red flag, wrap up, and work around. So to match means they are not in order, you need to choose. Right, let me show you the correct definitions. So there we have it. I hope you did well there. Let's move on to our next exercise. So can you find the 5 errors? So we have a text here, a dialogue, you can read through it, and there are 5 mistakes with phrasal verbs. Read through it, identify the mistakes, and then I will show you on the next page the correct answers. You might want to pause here to give yourself a bit more time. Right, here we have the corrected dialogue. So if you need to just go back and look again, this one will show you where you might have made a mistake, or hopefully you got them all correct. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this very useful. And please check in my videos if you need to update your vocabulary about presentations. There is a video for that, and also for some more advanced vocabulary for business. See you next time.